Are you ready?
Agility from the champion. Oh, deep six! That could be it. Delivered this deep six.
This is episode 149.
Damn it, my other hand is blocked by Chandler. So,
We are
5
almost
plus
at
4.
150 episodes. Actually, we've done a lot more than that, but
Yes.
as far as official podcast episodes, we are almost at 150 episodes. Episode 149. This is our first show since WrestleMania.
Yes, you had a fantastic trip, I hope.
It was absolutely fabulous.
As you stated and will state, I can imagine a bunch of videos already up and more might come. So love that. Who was the coolest person you met?
Oh, okay. So I have to say, the coolest person I met was the LA Knight girl.
Okay, I did see you post that up on, I believe, Instagram, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, she's basically like gone. I guess you can see she's gone viral. She kept on popping up on my recommended on the Instagram feed where like they recommend and people's posts just randomly pop up, So LA Night Girl was popping up on my Instagram feed for a few weeks. So I added her, followed her a little bit, and then I ran into her at Monday Night Raw on the outside of the arena. Very, very down to earth. She loves LA Knight. Big time LA Knight fan. All decked out LA Knight gear. And, but yeah, just a very, very down to earth person. And you could tell she has the passion for wrestling. Maybe even quite more so now than I even did when I was probably around her age. But very diehard fan, so shout out to LA Night Girl. But yeah, it was a very, very good weekend. Nikki and Brie Bella, I ran into them at the airport, and Nikki was very, very down to earth. So was Brie. They offered to take a couple photos, and as soon as I was within earshot of that, I stepped right up and got my photo with them, which ended up going viral amongst many wrestling websites. The trip itself was very good. I also bumped into Roxanne Perez at WWE Superstore. She had her head, buried down in her cell phone, and then she was also looking for a specific shirt, and which I don't know why she has to go shopping for her own shirt. WWE should basically provide that for her, whatever she wants. But that's what it was. Little 5 foot tall Roxanne Perez walked right by me. I said hello, and she respectfully said hello back and a smile. And I didn't ask for autograph. I didn't try to take a selfie with her or anything like that. I wanted to be very respectful of Roxanne Perez, and I was as respectful with the belt as I possibly could have been. I definitely don't want to be one of those fans that gives the Aftermath Pro Wrestling podcast a bad look. The fans, I didn't see any misbehavior, but then again, I wasn't going from hotel to hotel trying to meet people. But apparently, it's all over various social media platforms with fans crowding the wrestlers like Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, Bayley, and AJ Lee, and a lot of invasion of privacy going on there. And I do place blame on the lack of security. WWE had a lack of security for their talent this weekend. And yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about that. All in all, everything went well. The week was great. We did a couple things off on and off the strip too, which was pretty cool. The Fish concert. I went to another concert. I went to a Las Vegas Golden Knights game. So WrestleMania weekend was definitely one for the books for sure, and highly recommended. And I would do it again. Another WrestleMania in Vegas, even if it was next year, I would do it again.
Very cool. We love that you had a great time. What was the best match that you saw? And then we will go on to Raw.
Whew. So I would say the best match in person for Mania. I gotta say Gunther versus Seth Rollins.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the live reaction, and I think Punk and Roman was very good. They got the proper amount of time allotted to them, and then the ladder match was insane too.
Okay. That on TV that looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
Very nice.
But how was your weekend? And how was your WrestleMania week off from the podcast?
It was all right. Just kind of been stuck at work. Uh, been able to see my dad a little bit, so that's been good. Seeing him again Thursday and my brother, so it's been nice. But yeah, that's really not much. I hate when I never have nothing to talk about, but that's just kind of life, Working. Luckily, it's been work and family. That's a good combo, at least for me.
Excellent, excellent. So yeah, we're gonna talk tonight's last night's rather Monday Night Raw. We're gonna start hot with the Roman Reigns promo at the end of the show. But those of you guys that are watching, my name is Wayne, owner of Aftermath Pro Wrestling Podcast, joined today by Brandon, aka Bash, my Raw co-host, and guys, feel free to leave a comment, join the conversation, and feel free to subscribe to our channel as this will help us out. So, excellent week that we had with the podcast. We generated thousands and thousands of views, totaling cumulative across all platforms. So, we had a great WrestleMania week. We got to interact with fans. We did interviews, and it was a very, very good week. A hard-working week for the Aftermath Pro Wrestling Podcast, and I can't wait till the next WrestleMania that we go to. Speaking of, there is a headline out there. Nick Khan saying, "Oh, you guys are gonna." Well, let me see what the update was. What he said, but he's like, "Oh, it was something like, just wait until we announce where WrestleMania 44 is gonna be." In a headline, it's his quotes. It's on various Instagram wrestling websites. If I see it, Brandon, again, which I know I will, I'll send it to you so you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So with a statement like that, I would imagine they have a good place in mind for 44. I have one or two guesses.
Let's hear it.
WrestleMania 44 will finally either be in London, England,
Mm-hmm.
or Nashville, Tennessee.
I like both.
That's what I think. I don't think we would get a hype headline like that if it was going back to New Orleans or if it was going to Indiana for the first time, because that would be a little bit of a letdown location for me based on the headline. So when I see a headline like "just wait until we tell you where WrestleMania 44 is going to be," I expect it to be somewhere new where they haven't been, or somebody, something big. Don't think it's going to be Las Vegas again, although Las Vegas will probably get another one within a couple of years. But anyway.
Because right now they have it scheduled as Lucas Oil. So I wonder if that changes or if they just do it for the first time and they have it as a build up, like a movie build up, the way that they've done it before. And they're like, we gave you SummerSlam, we gave you Royal Rumble. Now here's WrestleMania Part 1 and 2, like the trilogy or whatever, and have it as a two-parter. That's the only thing that I could really see it working as doing Lucas Oil for the first time. Other
Yeah,
than that,
Lucas Oil is actually owed to WrestleMania.
what is it?
Lucas Oil is owed to WrestleMania.
Right.
New Orleans was compensated this year's Money in the Bank because it changed from New Orleans to Vegas for this year. This
Okay.
past Mania 42 is supposed to be in New Orleans, so that got changed because they realized Las Vegas was willing to pay more, and that WWE was going to get paid more money. So that's why the audible was changed, New Orleans to Las Vegas. Hands down, Las Vegas makes more money hand over feet than and generate more money just with all the amenities and everything that's there. It's a better destination. It's a better WrestleMania destination than New Orleans, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I can see that. That makes sense.
No doubt about it.
So I
But
guess we'll see if they
let's
say,
talk
let's go.
Monday Night Raw.
We. You started up.
So check this out. Roman Reigns answers Jacob Fatu's challenge last night,
Hmm.
which led to Roman Reigns choking out. I'm sorry, led to Roman Reigns being choked out by Jacob Fatu. You know, we hear that Roman Reigns was saying that, you know, to everybody, you can be proud of this title. This title that's on my shoulder. You can now respect this title. You can now choose to acknowledge this title because he had made it relevant by getting that title as part of the main event. The main event in night 2, for sure. Roman says, I gave you a week to decide, and then I hope you made the right decision for to unite the family and not divide the family. And then Jacob answers back and says, I didn't need a week or a day or an hour to think about it. Also reiterates that he doesn't want that title, but he needs that title. And as we heard last week, he needs that title so he can support his family, have better things in life, better house, better whatever. Um, and he also says that Solo was the one who called him and gave him a chance. Nobody else called him. I'm a little confused about this, and we'll visit this in a second. I'm trying to think, like, who's the heel and who's the face here, and he's putting over Solo, like, trying to figure out that dynamic, but we can talk about that in a second. And Roman Reigns goes on to say, like, I can't give you a shot because it's nepotism. And then Jacob just snaps and he chokes out Roman Reigns, saying he's going to take everything from him. And Roman then gets on the mic after Jacob leaves the ring and says, I'll see you, Jacob, at Backlash. So what did you think of this promo? And what did you think of, like, the dynamic of him bringing Solo Sikoa into the conversation? And I'm just trying to figure out. I guess Roman Reigns is the heel in this program, but then Jacob is acknowledging Solo. Like, it's a weird yet interesting dynamic going on.
I think we got. I think we're always gonna have Roman Reigns as a face. It doesn't matter. He is completely taking over. I heard some very loud pops for him tonight. And then the line that he even said of Solo brought you, he couldn't even get a coffee brought to him if he wanted. Like, I was
Yeah,
dying. So, like, Roman had some really good lines, but then he says, who do you think runs this place? Like, I'm the one that signed off on your ass. It's like, I'm the reason you're here. Don't ever speak of Solo. So I think it's more like, I'm as you said and he said, I'm the reason this belt is relevant. Acknowledge me. And then he threw around the nepotism word and said that you didn't earn it, and that's why he got death gripped in the face. So I understand both sides here, and the biggest thing from Fatu saying that he had 12 years of suffering while you guys were at the top of the mountain, I was foaming at the mouth trying to figure it all out. And like felt that. Like that you felt that in his soul. Like, it's tough watching your family members, as he said, make it to the top is, the Shield and as the Usos, and he's basically working the Indies trying to make it. So yeah, I can imagine it's tough, and that's why he wants his chance now, especially after Roman just won it. He says, "Screw it, let's get the Backlash. I want that belt off of you immediately."
Yeah. So we'll do a little bit of predicting really quick. I don't think Roman Reigns loses the title here. In fact, it is in one of our videos. If you guys can watch the short that I posted a couple days ago, where do we think we're gonna go with Obafemi? I believe Obafemi is going to be the guy to take off the championship belt off of Roman Reigns, and I think that will be done by like some I would say in the form of like a King of the Ring tournament where Oba earns number one contender to get to Reigns. I think Oba's gonna be. I don't think Jacob's gonna be the guy to beat Roman Reigns unless there's a plan where Oba chooses Cody Rhodes or something like that, or maybe they do something there. But because we never really got an official winner from that match because of interference. But Jacob did Roman Reigns did go on to say, I guess in an interview months ago, that he would like to do more work with Jacob Fatu to help get Jacob Fatu over. So we kind of knew this feud was coming, but I kind of forgot all about that. Roman Reigns even said that 6 months ago because we had the Royal Rumble program and the Roman versus Punk. So I totally was engulfed in all the WrestleMania stuff that I totally forgot that. Oh, Jacob Fatu is somewhere waiting in the wings and what have you. So Jacob Fatu should hopefully get the rub here, a big time rub over the next couple months. I don't think he's winning the title though, but it definitely puts him in line.
Especially on Friday night after taking out Solo and the MFT. So yeah, they made him look like a dominant threat both nights now. So I think they'll put on a good 15-minute match. And like you said, I believe Roman will come out on top. But there's going to be definitely he's my friend always texts me, and I 100% agree. Roman is the best at the 2.99 counts. Like he has some of the best kick out work I've ever seen. I think the last guy to do it as well is probably Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Roman's gonna give him I think give him the rub without the belt. That sounds wrong. The pause, as the kids say now. But
Yeah.
I think that they'll have a nice 15-minute match and Roman will come out on top. But Jacob will look good, and that's all they're trying to accomplish here.
Moving on, we had the Seth Rollins promo to start off the show. Yeah, he comes out. He's basically saying the reason why he lost and the reason why he's not champ is because, not because Gunther is better or because Roman pinned him. It's because of Braun Breaker. He demands Braun Breaker to come out and says that he gave Braun everything and that he repaid and basically he's repaying Seth by taking everything away as far as the title goes, the injury, and not being in the main event, which is the reason, and also the reason why Seth lost at Mania because of Braun. And he basically goes on to ask Braun Breaker like, what did you get out of what did you get out of this and for what? How does this benefit you? And then Braun goes on to say, I never needed you. I needed Paul Heyman. Um, and Seth says he has everything to be a star except the most important thing. That it goes on to say to Braun Breaker that he's lacking the brains. Um, and he also goes on to say that Braun Breaker has tried and is trying, but I'm the one who succeeds, and I'm telling you, Braun, that you're not ready. Um, and then also there was a line that says, what's that saying? Braun is not even number two in his own family. Referencing the Steiner brothers. What did you think
Yeah.
of this promo that pretty much started Raw last night?
that was the best mic drop that I could have ever thought. Well, it came from uh Braun initially saying that you're the best at being number two, because he said that he lost to the proclaimed best in the world. Um, so that's where that line came from, and that was a great mic drop. But yeah, I think that as we find out later in the show, but I guess not really a spoiler because it's already Tuesday at 10:30. Um, we are getting Braun versus Seth at Backlash. But yeah, that was revealed later on in the night. So I think that was a good promo to create the match on. They didn't need to brawl out, and we'll see a bunch of brawling and some stylistic matchup in, I can do math, 12 days. Yeah, let's go with that. Maybe 11.
Steiner math.
Steiner math. Thank you. That was good. That was quick.
What is it? What is it? The ninth. We're 30 days in the month of April, so that's 2 more days. 11 days.
Cool. Cool. I
Yeah.
like it. Oh, I'm stuffed up today, man.
Stephanie Vaquer jumped backstage by Liv and Roxanne. Liv says that this is my championship, and Stephanie Vaquer was brutally attacked backstage. So
That looked
this
rough.
is why we saw the attack backstage, is because Stephanie. It's been reported that Stephanie Vaquer is injured. Um, doesn't seem like she's going to be out for a long time, but it could be about a month or two.
Hmm.
That I'm thinking at the least. So this was WWE's way to write her off for a little bit.
Yeah, it looked brutal. Well, not like real brutal, but that was a big case getting thrown at her head and shoulder.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping her leg is injured if they threw that at her head and shoulder. Because, like, imagine they have to write you off, but she had like a left shoulder injury and just fucking slammed it right into her, right into her. But yeah, no, the only thing now that you're saying that that's reported, the only reason I thought that they did that is Vaquer could have attacked and then took her rematch clause at Backlash. But now that you're saying that she's hurt, I guess we're not going to get a Backlash live match.
No, which is not. Yeah, with 11 days out, yeah, it probably won't happen until like the pay per view after, more than likely.
Mhm.
Which, not really. I mean, you want Liv defending that title, so you know they'll see. I'm just hoping that we don't get into another Jade Cargill situation where Jade Cargill, waits like 3 months into her title reign to do her first title defense. That would absolutely be horrible for Liv. So Liv should be Liv. I gotta tell you, the champions, even if it's not a title defense every single time, the champions should be in a match every other week, or if you don't want them to get too hurt or anything like that, throw them in a tag match. But I'm kind of like a little tired of Raw and SmackDown matches lacking star power. Like let's do the tag team matches, mixed tag matches, and integrate storylines together.
Mm.
Instead of having Roman wrestle once every 2 months, and Punk didn't really do a whole lot since January. Um, but anyway, I digress. Moving on, we had Penta versus Rusev. Ethan Page comes out. How do you think
All
Ethan Page is doing so far?
all ego. He has had to do nothing.
I like his presentation so far. I mean, it's not much different than on NXT, but it's translating pretty well on Raw.
Yeah, I think that he is gonna pull off that role very well. I feel like we haven't seen that kind of maneuver since, I would kind of say it's kind of a JBL move.
Oh, okay. The
Um
way he's being presented.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
Samoa. Yeah,
good, well dressed, can move in the ring. You know, I kind of see that aspect a little. I also see it as kind of an LA night, but like I said, well, how they initially booked LA Knight is that Max Dupree. That's kind of how I see Ethan Page moving up as well.
gotcha.
But yeah, they just I think that they'll. He looked good against Javon Evans in the first match right after Raw.
You did.
So I think that they're just gonna have to rely on his skill and ego to kind of push him. But we shall see. Because was he on SmackDown? Like, did he ever actually wrestle? I think he was injured on SmackDown when he was managing Chelsea, right? Am I totally off?
No, you might not be. I just don't remember that. But I think he
Okay,
did come out once with
okay.
Chelsea.
I do remember because he had some belt and they were both holding a bunch of belts.
Yeah.
So I guess now they said that they need him on Raw, which is kind of crazy because there was a fantastic song later on in the night, but we'll get to that soon. So we got a lot of people joining Raw, and there's also another signing next week on Raw, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. Um, we see the dynamic building up with Ethan Page and Rusev
Mhm.
as well. Let me take a quick back step. Penta beats Rusev, and then um, Penta gets attacked post match by Rusev after Penta had just beat him. Javon Evans comes, and then we see Ethan Page jumping in and um, joining Rusev in continuing to attack Penta. Then we see Javon Evans come for the save, clearing out Rusev and Ethan Page. Then Javon Evans puts a big time OG cutter on Rusev, which I thought was really cool. So that pretty much wrapped up that segment. What's the deal with open challenges lately?
I have absolutely no idea, but I guess it's just kind of a way to initiate
A new
that.
program, a new feud.
Exactly. And I think it's also a way to bring up the new people in NXT. And I think a good way to bring this in now, maybe talk later, is all of the people that apparently were unsigned. But even though I thought there was one or two that were on that list that were there tonight. So I'm a little confused.
Gotcha.
So, did you see the whole list of everybody that was reportedly not re signed or let go?
Oh yeah, yeah. We'll get to that. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna hit that up. But I didn't see anybody on that list at Raw tonight. Like that's
Wasn't uh was Kyrie not there?
nah,
Kyrie wasn't there.
no.
Really? Okay. I guess I read that wrong. Or maybe I think they showed a promo with her because I know Asuka said something.
Yeah,
So maybe they showed her and they made that video without knowing that she was not gonna resign.
that's possible. Yeah,
But but yeah, that's one crazy drop.
yeah.
But I guess we'll talk about that later.
Becky
Yes.
Lynch, she issues an open challenge, and then we get Io answering that challenge, which is pretty cool because we haven't really seen Io versus Becky in the ring too much, and we haven't seen it any time recently. So Becky Lynch accepts. Io attacks Becky for insulting her. So Io is the one that accepts Becky's challenge. Um, and then we get Becky Lynch running her mouth, and then Io then attacks. Pierce makes the match, but we see Asuka interfere, and Becky gets the pinfall for the win. And Asuka attacks Io and taps her out. So that's where we're going. Asuka versus Io looks like at Backlash, which is going to be a phenomenal match, by the way.
Yes.
So
I
all
can't wait
that
for that one.
build with Becky was to get us to Io versus Asuka for to set that program up.
Mhm.
I gotta be honest with you, I'm kind of done with Io feuding with Asuka every single week.
Yeah, I think Backlash is going to be the end all be all,
They gotta wrap it up.
unless Io finds a way to win. But I feel like Asuka will kind of have her win and then maybe take her under her wing, especially now that Kyrie is gone. But we shall see.
That would be very, very interesting to see. And I feel like if that happens, we're kind of going a little backwards. And then what's going to happen with the friendship of Io and Rhea Ripley? And I know they've pretty much made it clear Rhea Ripley's going to stay on SmackDown, obviously, because she's champion and stuff. But I wonder how what the, how I just wonder how they're going to make sense of it. So
Hmm. Yeah, it's probably going to be pretty tough.
yeah. We got the Joe Hendry concert. What did you think of the concert?
That was fantastic. That was probably one of the best songs I've heard since The Rock made the song about Vicky. That was easily the best song that I've heard since. So, and that it was pretty cool to say that he respects the ruler and respects to the and he acknowledges the OTC. So I was like, all right, he's not ready to take on the top guys yet, but make one change. Paul, can we fire Logan Paul? And then the fact that you got Michael Cole singing was amazing.
Oh, that was so horrible. They were like totally off.
Can we fire Logan Paul? Paul.
And we see Logan Paul coming out, like I'm unfireable, blah blah blah. Like he just like
Can't
flips out,
fire
like
me.
as if he just like turned off like a light switch. He just flips out just like that. We see the Vision attacking Joe Hendry, but then the Street Profits come out for the save. Um, and then we saw Street Profits a little later on, kind of crossing paths with Seth Rollins, and Street Profits kind of blew off Seth Rollins. Basically because of Seth Rollins making everything about himself and stuff. So
As usual.
that happened.
Yeah, that was pretty cool to see in the back.
We had Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano, which
Yes.
was a nice win. Rey Mysterio gets the win with the 619, followed by the frog splash and the pinfall. The OG Americano comes in and prevents El Grande Americano from loading his mask up with the steel plate, and then that allowed Rey Mysterio to finish up the match, dialing up the 619 and getting the win. We see both Americanos brawling. They're clearly making it. They're promoting that match. It's for the end of May. Mask versus mask. Who do you think's the better Americano, by the way?
The fact that Ludwig A has Rio and Bravo and B sounds like took he actually took the time to learn Spanish. He is 100,000% better. So if they're gonna keep this going, then I think you have to take the mask off of the OG. So I
Yeah,
think Chad Gable needs to come back.
yeah, and I think so too. Ludwig Kaiser has done an amazing job as El Grande Americano. I would honestly like to see El Grande Americano do double duty. Like some weeks come out as Ludwig Kaiser, have him make his have WWE advertise his return as Ludwig Kaiser, but then
Right.
I'd have him like some weeks like to see him come out as El Americano, just to kind of like it's kind of like WWE's way of trying to think that we're stupid, but I think it'd be kind of funny if Ludwig Kaiser did both characters.
Now, my real question, because obviously I was a baby, if not born yet. Mick Foley, when he did the three faces of Mick Foley in the Royal Rumble, did he ever wrestle as two of them at the, like, as you said, at the same time? Did he ever pull a double duty?
No, I mean it is.
Okay.
That's the only instance that I know of that Mick Foley did three characters. I mean, it is possible that maybe he showed up as one character early in the night on a Raw episode, and then came out as another character. Um, if I can think back to um, Royal a Raw in 1990, I want to say 97, maybe. No, no, hold on. No, now we're maybe going into like closer to 99, even 2000 probably, um, but it was a Raw. It was one of the first Raws at the Garden. Again, I kind of forget if it's 97 or 98, but you see Mick Foley on the screen. I think it was Mankind in character on the Titantron,
Okay.
talking to Triple H while Triple H is in the ring. So Mick Foley's on like a pre-made video and announces that I'm not going to be the one that's going to fight you. And then it's good, and all you see is it's going to be Cactus Jack, and then you see Cactus Jack come out.
Oh, I love
Um,
that.
I think they've done promos with all three characters in one promo before, but that obviously was done, made by like camera tricks and stuff like that, and you see like each version of the Foley's talking to each other and stuff.
Mhm.
So there was some stuff there, but yeah. Other than that instance of the Royal Rumble, not really.
Okay. So, I mean, yeah, I guess they could do that maybe after the mask match. But yeah, I guess we shall see. But that would be a pretty cool direction to go.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I would like because I'd like to see Ludwig Kaiser come out as Ludwig Kaiser sometimes too. But he's doing like such a really good job at El Grande Americano that I'm not ready for him to drop that character. Like he's really done better than the OG Americano, but we'll see. But moving on, we have Obafemi versus Grayson Waller.
Oh,
Nice little squash match from here. Grayson Waller, if he was lucky, maybe got one offensive move in. But Obafemi, man, he's got it. Like his aura, his presentation, and if people don't think that he's that good in the ring, that's their opinion. But everything else then makes up for it. But Obafemi has been perfectly fine. His matches doesn't overdo its stay. Uh, the crowd at WrestleMania was so over for Obafemi. Everybody doing the march.
mhm.
And then, again, getting back to the open challenges,
Yeah.
Obafemi issues going forward, an Obafemi open challenge. He's like, I'm going to give you guys the opportunity, but don't you guys think that it's going to be a big mistake when you come in the ring, blah 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 blah. So that's basically how that promo ran down, and I thought that was excellent.
I I think at Backlash, Rusev wins the title, and then I think that's where the open challenge kind of commences, and we get Oba versus Rusev again. And whenever that, I think that's probably like Night of Champions or so. But I think that's how we get the first belt on Oba because I don't want him to take it off of Penta. I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, if he already beat Rusev, then it's like, nah, I'm gonna take this belt and like y'all can figure it out after.
I mean, listen, I can tell you that that only works. Your plan is only going to work if they have no intentions of putting the WWE title on a Penta this year. I think at some point
Fair.
between at either SummerSlam or Mania, Obafemi will be in a world title match for sure. Um, but then you also got to think of it this way. Let's just say he does win the U.S. the Intercontinental title. So Rusev beats Penta, whatever, and then we get Oba to cross paths with Rusev again. Um, you'd essentially be taking that belt off of Oba Femi sooner than later, and he'd basically be taking some kind of a loss, at some point, heading into a world title program. I'm just not too sure if that's the direction they'll go in. I think they're grooming him for a world title, to be honest.
Hmm. Yeah, I can see that. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
I'd
I
rather
think
that
he's gonna
honestly.
hot shot everything because I think if you look back to the 2002 build of Brock Lesnar, that's kind of like the kind of push that Obafemi's getting right now.
I
So
hope that they do that. I really do.
I believe they will. It's just like I don't think this once Oba wins the title, I don't really think there's anybody too believable that will beat him that soon. Like he's once he gets his title, he's gonna hold on to that thing for a while. It really just all comes down to what platform that they want to give it to him on. I honestly believed that Braun Breaker would have been champion, or I honestly believe that Braun Breaker was being groomed to be the a champion this year within the next 6 months. But then he got hurt, he got injured, and then Obafemi just caught on to major momentum quick. And I feel like Oba kind of has taken that spot. And honestly, if you think back to WrestleMania 21, when John Cena won his world title and Batista won the world title, that was basically WWE telling you, like, these are our two new guys going forward, which it was. It was their two new guys going forward, Batista for like the next 5 to 10 years, and Cena for the next 20. And it's very possible that come WrestleMania 43, they do something similar with Braun Breaker winning a world title and Obafemi winning a world title, and WWE's way of telling you, hey, these are our two guys now. These are our main guys going forward. So we could get something like that.
Okay.
But I do
Like
feel that Oba Femi kind of jumped Braun Breaker in line.
after the
Just the way
injury, yeah.
it's. Yeah, because Oba Femi came in. He came in hot. WWE probably, maybe, didn't realize he was going to get hot so quick and like this. And they're just rolling with it now. So.
Screw it. Ride the hot hand.
Liv Morgan apologizes to Roxanne. So we see Liv Morgan backstage, um, with Roxanne. She's like, I just want to like continue the conversation that we tried starting, but then we got interrupted, and she apologizes to Roxanne for the way things went down with Finn because basically she witnessed Finn Balor bring her into Judgment Day. I know how you guys are close, and Liv goes on to say that Finn was basically putting himself before the family, and also goes on to say that Liv Morgan saying to Roxanne that I want to support you just like you've supported me. So we get that. Liv Morgan goes away, and then Finn quietly comes in and to warn Roxanne that she can't trust Liv, or she can't trust anyone in Judgment Day. And then Roxanne uh, gives the rebuttal, like saying, "Oh, I can't trust them, or I can't trust you, and then you better get out of here." So that's how that ended. So they're clearly planting the seeds of a more dissension between Roxanne and Liv, and I would probably expect Liv Roxanne. They may be, since Stephanie Vaquer is out, they may be planting something for the summertime between Roxanne and Liv Morgan, if I have to guess.
Yeah, I could see them going in that direction. I wonder which way Raquel would go.
Yeah, no, that would be a very, very good question. I think I think Roxanne would be the one turning on Liv Morgan,
Right.
and
But then,
Raquel staying in
yeah,
Judgment Day with Dom and Bobblehead McDonough.
bobblehead. Love that. He does have a pretty big head.
Oh man! So that segment happens before we get to Roxanne and Raquel versus Bayley and Lyra. Roxanne Perez with a huge pop as she was in her hometown in Laredo. And we see Roxanne win with the pop rocks after Liv had distracted Bayley from the outside. Bayley was distracted, gave Roxanne the opportunity to put the pop rocks on and win. Um, Man, Bayley and Lyra have been taking a lot of losses.
Yeah, it's a little sad. I like Lyra. I like Bayley, but we'll see when their dissension rises because they've had dissension for a while, and then they randomly came back and they're like, "Nah, let's make it to WrestleMania," and then they lost at WrestleMania, and now they lost another week after WrestleMania. So, yeah, I'd be surprised if this friendship lasts too long because Bailey doesn't like losing. I feel like Lyra doesn't like losing, but we've already seen Bailey turn on a number of people because they were losers. So we'll see what happens.
For sure. Um, Before we get into the WWE releases, I know you mentioned one thing. Sol Ruka is going to be advertised for Raw next week. She's going to be on Raw, so the contract signing. She had a great showing with Liv Morgan on Raw last week.
That's why I thought we were going to get Liv versus Soul at Backlash. Because that, like you said, that was a fire match. And I think the other two knuckleheads got involved. So I feel like Soul would be like, you know what? She's gonna sign the contract and be like, hey, now that I'm a part of Raw, I want the champion again, but this time let's do it one on one. And she could lose to the champion, which is fine, but at least it would be one on one, and she's gonna have another fantastic showing. So
That
it
very well
might
could
happen.
happen.
I would love to see a not a quick match, but there aren't too many matches at Backlash yet. Obviously, we need to get a couple of SmackDown ones, but yeah, there's not too many, so I could definitely see that being added next week while the contract is being signed.
For sure. Absolutely. I like that. Um, for those of you guys that are watching, make sure you guys feel free to comment and join the conversation. We'd love to hear your thoughts about last night's Raw. We are sponsored by Back Sports Page. Check out the YouTube channel, Back Sports Page, and their website, www.backsportspage.com. You can check out the wrestling podcast that they have on there, Cut Pro Wrestling Podcast, where they interview past and present and indie wrestlers. Lots of great interviews on there. If you're a big New York Giants fan, they cover the New York Giants and the local New York sports and more. So make sure you guys check out backsportspage.com. Uh, Anyhow, so the last thing we'll talk about, and then we'll tie this show up with a bow, is the WWE releases. A lot of people were not happy about them, but I'm kind of trying to look at it from both ways. There was a couple releases that did not make sense, and then some of the other releases it just kind of really wasn't working, and then another third of the releases um, they just weren't being used for one reason or another. And um, as you know, when WWE calls up wrestlers from NXT to freshen the brand, what happens is they have to do some releases. And that's pretty much what we've been seeing for the past couple of years. But these weren't just any useless releases. We had the release of the Wyatt Six, pretty much the whole faction,
Right.
Aleister Black, um, and his wife, Zelina Vega. were the most notable names that were released. Motor City Machine Guns. I'm like, they haven't really been doing too much of anything the past couple months, and I did hear through the grapevine that Motor City Machine Guns were not too happy backstage as far as the way they were being utilized or lack thereof. I'm surprised Johnny Gargano wasn't on there either, but he wasn't happy when Tommaso Ciampa had left. But anyhow, um, so we got the releases of Wyatt Six, and I just feel like the Wyatt Six was underused in a way. Um, when Wyatt Six debuted on Raw, like they were built so strong, like they literally murdered everybody backstage. Everybody was laying in a pool of blood. And then what happened after that? Kind of just like, lackluster program for the most part. And you put them in with MFT, which nobody's really interested in, and everything was just kind of fell flat for a very long time. Um, so I would love to know the reasoning of why Wyatt Six was released, because despite the fact that we're in the middle of a lackluster storyline, they still had a great presentation. Um, action figures, merch, you name it, they're very marketable. So, um, the YS6 kind of threw me for a little bit of a surprise there. Motor City Machine Guns, I'm not too surprised about that. They weren't happy. And then you bring us to Aleister Black and Zelina Vega. The reason why Aleister Black basically left AEW, he was, as Malachi Black, he was taking too many L's. And basically the same thing. He took a significant amount of L's, and supposedly Aleister Black was, again, this is just rumors. I have not confirmed, but supposedly Aleister Black was supposed to be in the spot of Pat McAfee talking into Randy Orton's ears going into WrestleMania. With the voices in the head and stuff like that. It would have been pretty much like a carrying cross kind of gimmick, but the Aleister Black's basically been doing carrying cross this gimmick for like the last couple months anyway. So, but if that rumor is true, that obviously did not happen. There could have been um, friction backstage as a result of not being utilized in WrestleMania and leading up to their release. And it's very possible that maybe Aleister Black and Zelina Vega asked for a release. Maybe. But then you hear Zelina Vega complaining on Instagram and taking it to the wrestling world on social media that basically burying Sean Ross Sapp for, I would have liked if I was given a chance to break the news first before Sean Ross Sapp. And I think she may have called him a bad name or something, but whatever. But basically burying him for no reason. And Sean Ross Sapp is like the pretty much the most reliable news reporter for wrestling in the whole entire business. So naturally, if you hear breaking news, you're gonna report it, right? So
Fair.
you can't fault somebody in that position whom if he gets wrestling scoops that he's gonna post it.
Excuse me.
Zelina Vega basically burying Sean Ross Sapp for getting the news out before she can tell the wrestling world, which is why she's not happy. So I cannot side with Zelina Vega on that. He's just simply doing his job.
That's like asking Adam Schefter to wait until you can tweet out that an NFL or NBA player is traded. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, or like, or asking the media not to report Alex Cora's firing from the Boston Red Sox and their entire staff without the coach's addressing it first with the fans. You know,
Right.
like Zelina Vega just made no sense whatsoever, and that obviously happened. The Red Sox managers all got fired except for their pitching staff, Bayley. But
Oh
that's a
well.
whole nother thing. But yeah, so again, she was pissed about that. So those were the biggest names: Y6, Motor City Machine Guns, and um, Aleister Black and Zelina Vega. And
Yeah.
it's a crappy thing. Like you don't want to see like these are people's livelihoods, and you don't want to see people fired from WWE, especially talent that you liked. But I'm fully confident that each and every one of these talents. The other one was Santos Escobar.
Right.
Um, and I'm fully confident that each and every single one of these talents that got released, especially the names that we've been talking about, they're gonna find a job somewhere. AEW, CMLL, TNA, and what have you.
Yeah, I could see that. That's most likely gonna be their landing spots.
And Kyrie Sane was that was a little bit of a surprise, and there's been a big outcry for her to come back because they, she was basically in an unfinished program with Asuka. If anything, I think it would have been Asuka and Kyrie Sane at Backlash. Supposedly, rumor has it that she's gonna go back to Japan. So
Yeah, I could see her joining over there, putting some work in, maybe even coming back in a few years. She was definitely flying.
yeah. Um, Again, we don't know the circumstances about these releases. One or two of them could have requested their release, which I'm pretty confident that City Machine Guns is probably one of them that requested their release. Again, I heard 2 months ago they were not happy backstage. They were MIA on SmackDown for months. I'm like, how's that possible? You have a 3-hour show. How were they not on it? But anyway, that's pretty much all I got for this week. Brandon, is there anything that we can add to this before we wrap up the show?
No Danhausen tonight. A little upsetting. Or last night.
Really? I didn't
Did
even
I miss
notice
a
that.
Danhausen? Yeah, I don't think there was a Danhausen.
Huh. I have to think if he did something in between commercials,
Oh
and
right.
I
Yeah,
don't
that could be. Sorry.
think he did. Come to think of it, so that's a good observation there. He's been all over social media though,
Yes. He has been
cursing
fun.
the Mets and the Knicks and all these teams.
And the
I
Knicks
see
the
what he
Knicks
did.
won by 30 tonight,
They
so
won by 30. Oh my gosh.
yes. So
So
he only got Stephen A. Smith, which he's just a fan of the Knicks, but he didn't get the whole Knicks in total.
wow, wow,
Uh
that's a huge
yeah.
win though.
Well, he's also doing a lot on SmackDown now because he had the Kit Wilson, then he had the Miz, and then he took over Miz's house.
That was great.
Then he
That was
stole he
fantastic
stole his daughter's
work.
bike. I'm like, yo, this is amazing. Like,
That
come
was. I
on.
need more of this, but I need more of this type of storytelling. With other storylines too.
Oh yeah. No, they're gonna find a way to keep doing this.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I have to ask you one question,
Go
Brandon.
for it.
You watched WrestleMania at home, and so obviously you're gonna have a different perspective than I will because WrestleMania kind of like I wasn't bored. Like I was entertained all throughout. The entrances were a little long. They take up time, and the matches. A lot of people complained about the match length, and in
Mm.
my head, I knew that they were kind of short. But like when you're in the arena, like the show just kind of flows. Like there's a lot of like in between entertaining stuff in between matches. So like I didn't feel bored, and I didn't really necessarily feel gypped per se. Even though I did notice that some of the matches were short, like I felt like the night was flying by at the same time. Like I don't know, how did you feel about watching WrestleMania on TV this year? Did you feel like the matches were way too quick? Um, Walk me through that before we go off the air.
I feel like match length for everything was fine. There were a few matches that felt a little rushed, where they could have at least put another 2-3 minutes in. Um, Other than that, nah, there was a couple of moments that felt a little dull, but
Was there too many ads for
uh,
your liking?
this well, I was only able to watch the second night live. I was not able to watch the first night live.
Yeah.
I worked till late. Um, but the second night, not really. It wasn't too much to get through to be annoyed, you know. But
I popped on WrestleMania on Netflix because I
uh,
used the NordVPN. I use the VPN. I use the out of the country VPN. So this way, when I watch Raw, it cuts down a lot of the ads. Or when I watch SmackDown, I could have SmackDown. I could have NXT all in one place instead of like three different places. So I use NordVPN when I watch
mhm.
um, WWE programming, but I noticed that the shows for WrestleMania were trimmed down to 2.5 hours, and I think on the Netflix side, and I think that just probably has a lot to do with the cutting out of the ads and stuff.
Yeah, that would make sense because it was definitely a 4 hour ordeal. So wow.
Yeah, like I just feel like WWE used to squeeze more in within a 3 4. They used to squeeze more in within a 3 hour span, um, more than what they kind of put out this weekend. Again, it was easy to sit through at WrestleMania. That wasn't a problem, but the observation amongst many fans is this match was 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 3 minutes, you know, and I think a lot of fans were complaining about how there was too much ad time in between matches and stuff. And but again, if you think back to like WrestleMania 6, right, that was a 3 hour show, and they squeezed in 13 matches on that card. WrestleMania 4. That was a 4 hour pay per view, and they managed to squeeze in about 15, 16 matches because they had the tournament. Um, and so, yeah, a lot of people were complaining about the match time that not being long enough. But then if you're watching AEW, then you're complaining about it's too long and it needs to be short. So I'm just hoping everybody finds a happy middle.
I feel like every match should be
10 to 15 minutes minimum. Like 10
cor-
minutes
uh
minimum, maybe closer to 15.
I would say that there's a few matches that can get be done in 8 minutes. But yeah, I would say
like
every match
like Brock versus Owa,
12.
that made sense. That
Right.
that made sense to have a little bit of a short match. But if you have a tag match, you can do 10 minutes. There were the ladder match. I don't even think that hit 15 minutes.
I think it was right at 15.
Yeah, like you probably could have done a little bit more there, but it was still a great match. So I wasn't too mad about that. And Seth and Gunther just being there live, like I felt like that was appropriate timing. Um, but Liv and Stephanie, I think should have been given at least 5 more minutes minimum. Like because a lot of people were looking forward to that match. So, some, like that was like my top three match that I was looking forward to all weekend, and to get only 6 minutes out of that match, if that, that's no good.
Yeah, they got to figure out that just a little bit.
And some of that could have maybe been because maybe she was injured, Stephanie, at that point, and we didn't know it. But
Yeah, that makes sense too.
well, to those of you guys that are watching, that wraps up episode 149. We're going to be posting stuff all week. Uh, the remaining content that we have with from WrestleMania weekends. So, guys, check that stuff out. All our shorts that we have there. We have a lot of good stuff, a lot of clips that I shot from with the video. Um, and then we're also going to do an AEW post show tomorrow. Me and Shiv will be live at about the same time, 10:15, covering AEW Dynamite. We'll be posting some shorts this week. So there'll be a lot on this channel coming at you guys. And those of you guys that are listening on audio, whether you're on iHeart, Spotify, iTunes, be sure to visit our YouTube channel, Aftermath Pro Wrestling Podcasts. where you can get even more content than what we're putting out on audio. Brandon, thank you so much for hopping on tonight. And those of you guys that are watching, have an awesome week. We'll see you tomorrow.
Agility from the champion. Uh-oh!